What is going on, Trash Talkers? We're back with another episode for you. In today's video, we're going to discuss whether or not Thad Moss's hit on Kayvon Thibodeaux was a dirty play. All that and much more coming your way right now. All right, before we get into today's video, be sure to hit that subscribe button and like the video as it will help us out tremendously. So sit back, relax, and enjoy today's video. All right, Nick, as we continue the preseason, we have seen some electrifying play. We've seen some top-end players really sparking something and really showing up, but we have seen some of the bad things, and that includes injuries. And Nick, I want to focus on one that has come into question over the last few days, that being Thaddeus Moss of the Cincinnati Bengals taking a low chop block on Kayvon Thibodeaux. Nick, I want to get your thoughts. Do you believe that this was a dirty play?
Yeah, I was watching this game live. I watched this play happen, and I was hyper-focused on Kayvon Thibodeaux because a lot of people want to say Kayvon Thibodeaux, he was the top 5 pick in the NFL draft, and he has not proven that he was worthy of being that top 5 pick. And I watched this guy get pressure after pressure after pressure, and I was still trying to figure out what everybody else was seeing because I saw a guy who was on the brink of being one of the NFL sack leaders. So I wanted to see what he was about, and when I saw this play, yeah, I thought it was dirty. Thaddeus Moss came in from a side angle and went low, extremely low. Even Kayvon got down a little bit to brace for impact, but Thaddeus thought it would be good to hit him below the knees. To me, that's a dirty play. You cannot take advantage of a guy who is not in position to protect themselves, especially in an area that has so much history to it. That area constantly has season or career-ending injuries, yet Thaddeus Moss thought it would be a good idea to take out one of the young budding stars of the NFL. Thaddeus Moss, your father might be Randy, but you are nobody, so you doing something like that is not going to get you on the roster. It's not going to make a name for yourself. This is not what we want to see in the NFL, and you should have been ejected from this game. I don't want to see this in the game. I don't want to see professional athletes doing this to one another when they know better. They know what the effects are, and yet it's still happening. I don't think this should have happened. I don't think it should be allowed, and I think that everybody needs to deem this as a dirty play.
I want to take what you just said right at the end there. You don't think it should be allowed. The problem is it is allowed, so it's not a dirty play. It is legal under the rules. There was no flag here. The fact of the matter is that this is a play that is acceptable in today's NFL. If you want to change the rule, I'm all for that. But to call this a dirty play is just ridiculous because it's a very legal play. If Kayvon Thibodeaux wanted to get away from this hit, he can either try to jump over him, he can try to sidestep him, because he had plenty of time to try to brace for it. He didn't get low enough, and that's what caused the issue. But if he were to just sidestep him, he's going to easily have continued pursuit at the ball carrier versus having to figure out how to get his knee out of the way. I think the fact of the matter is that Thad Moss took out his defender like his assignment says that he needs to do, and he did it in a way that he thought was acceptable. It is acceptable according to the letter of the law inside the NFL. The rule book states that they are allowed to do this. There was no flag on the play. I can't see this being a dirty hit. If you want to change the rule, I'm all for it, but as of right now, not a dirty play.
I think the rule needs to be looked at because honestly, there's no situation that any player should find themselves in where they are being hit below the knee. There's no reason to be hit that low. Even when you have short running backs being hit by defensive players and they're trying to hit them low in the legs, they don't get that low. It should not happen. And when you have a big 6'5" defensive end who is one of the best young guys in the league, you can't just go be taking him out like that, especially in the second preseason game. There's no reason to be playing like this at this stage of the game, where Thaddeus Moss is out there to make the roster. Kayvon Thibodeaux is out there to get warmed up because he is about to go through 17 grueling games in the regular season. So it's a much different story. I understand Thaddeus is trying to do his job and do what he's supposed to, but not at the expense of somebody else's health. I think that this is something that should be taken a look at because we're trying to eliminate plays like this, especially with quarterbacks. Why should it only apply to quarterbacks? I think it should apply to much more. To me, this should be deemed something like a chop block, which is illegal. I don't want to see this in the game anymore.
No, I agree that this shouldn't be in the game, but the fact of the matter is, it is in the game. And Thaddeus Moss is trying to take on a roster spot for the Cincinnati Bengals. He wants to be that guy for this team, and he's going to do his job at whatever means necessary within the confines of the NFL rulebook. And he did exactly that. You talk about making a name for yourself. Well, that's what he's going to do. He's going to chop block Kayvon Thibodeaux so he does not get in the backfield and become that game wrecker that we know him to be from his time in college. The fact of the matter is that Thaddeus Moss did what he knew he had to do, and he's coming under scrutiny because of what happened versus him actually doing it. If Kayvon Thibodeaux doesn't get hurt on that play, nobody's even talking about it. Nobody's thinking about it again, and it's just a wash. Right now, it's because it resulted in injury that everybody wants to freak out. I think because it's allowed in the NFL rulebook that we have to continue to allow it until they change that rule.
I think we should all just be happy that Kayvon was able to get up under his own power and walk off, because I didn't think that was going to be the case. I thought there was going to be a cart taking him away, and us hearing a few hours later he had a torn ACL.
Yeah, I am very grateful and happy for the fact that Kayvon Thibodeaux will only miss 3 to 4 weeks with an MCL sprain. I think that this was the best case scenario at this point. But again, we have to take a look at the rule, and that's where we have to really go ahead and change it. I would expect that the competition committee will be taking a look at this, especially driven by John Mara, the owner of the New York Giants. He's going to want to bring this up in the competition committee meetings and really try to drive this home that we need to protect player safety. I think that this is going to be something that they look at come next year. All right, well, I want to hear from you guys. Let us know in the comments down below what you think of Thaddeus Moss's block on Kayvon Thibodeaux. Was it dirty? Let us know in the comments down below. All right, well, that's going to be all for now. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell. We go live every single day. That'll be all. Peace and love.